So the print that I'm going to talk about is the one right behind me. The title is Death, as in I love who I am becoming. And I think the symbol came to me before I knew what the print was about. Like when I knew I got into queer ancestors, I was like, I think I need to do something about a vulture ripping the tits off of someone. That feels really queer to me. But then the story kind of unfolded partially. One of my, I think like my first friend ever, like from preschool, was doing this queer tarot deck. And I proposed doing the death card for her. And the death card was also meant to symbolize hurt. And so, yeah, hormone replacement therapy. And yeah, so I was like thinking a lot about death and transition. And the storyline that kind of emerged for me was thinking about what it means to transition on, I don't know, I think a really, like on all of the different levels to it. In having conversations with my friends who have transitioned their genders, conversations come up of, like, did you have a funeral for your past self? What's your relationship to the person who you maybe don't feel like you are anymore, or the name that you have left behind? And some people, choose to, we call these dead names. And some people like still identify with that person or they don't. But I think that there's, and you choose to either like just like walk away from an identity and not face it, or and so I think I thought a lot about what it would be like to have funerals and to have mourning and to have like beautiful rituals of death for the parts of ourselves that we aren't holding anymore or aren't in our present lives. And I think, that's emblematic of like how we treat death in a lot of ways in our society. I think especially here in the US, we don't know how to celebrate death and love it and honor it. And I think there's so much fear around death. And so, especially in the tarot, death is, not an end. It's not a negative creature. It's instead like this being of profound transformation, where death is when we let things go in order for new things to emerge and grow in life. It's realizing that, we are like lovingly letting go of the things that are no longer supporting us, so we have space for new things, like new identities. And so, this point was really a meditation on that, and I got to have my friend Brad model for me during it, which is awesome, and then I got to interview them and their partner Campbell, who are both trans, and we just talked for like an hour about death and transness and our relationship to our bodies and all of that, and it was just such a beautiful, incredible process to be a part of.
Yeah, I feel like my relationship to ancestors and spirituality is sometimes really quiet ones. Not to say not meaning that it's not present, it feels really present, but it's a very silent presence that I feel like doesn't often have a name or a voice, but just more like a feeling. And in taking this workshop and really being thinking about what does it mean to have great ancestry and who are these people in my life, I was kind of experiencing more of that quietness come in. One of the prints that came to life for me was the Chapel of the Chimes, which is at the building. It's in Oakland. It's a really beautiful building. I would recommend that. I think it's one of the most beautiful buildings in Oakland. And when I go there, there's just kind of like this really like expansive presence of all of these lives that are there. There are more than 100,000 people who are in the chapel. And I think the way that ancestry shows up for me there is just the infinite possibility of all of their lives and who they are and the truths that they had and the truths that they couldn't share. And so when I go in and share that space with them, it feels like I feel like I have a resonance with it's funny how queer it feels to me of being able to like almost have this secret with all the people there who couldn't be queer when they were alive, but like still held this truth. And then when we share space in this building together, like I get to hold that with them. I was in Utah recently where I have ancestry, and I've never really connected to my Utah lineage at all. But I was there recently and I felt this like really, really intense kind of rush of like all of these people kind of like coming at me on and it was like, oh, I get it, like I'm here to listen to you in a way that when people were alive didn't listen to you.
Wow.
And that yeah, so ancestry and queerness and all of this, I think my experience in this workshop is just learning how to listen to that silence and feeling